And welcome back to another edition of News and Commentary for this 26th day of June 2025 from Lincoln, Nebraska. Beautiful day outside, looking out the window. Well, it looks nice, but I see a few clouds. No wind, though. No wind whatsoever. That's kind of odd for Nebraska this time of year, anyway. We're looking at a high right now of 81, looking at a high overall about 90 degrees for today. 81 at the moment, and it's not too. It's early afternoon, so not too bad. What we do on this program, of course, is take one news story, sometimes more, and we make comment on them, is what we do. And today we're talking about the election primary, if you will, for the mayor of the city of New York. And the apparent winner for the Democratic side is Zoran Mamdani, that's how you pronounce it, Mamdani, or Danny, or what, Mamdani, there you go, I got it, I'll get it right, it's brand new, it's still in my head, what can you do? Well, anyway, he's been elected from the Democrat side to move on and eventually run in November against the Republican challenger and whoever else decides to get in. We don't know. The story now is that he's won the Democratic side, and so Cuomo's decided to, well, the heck with this. I'm going to run as an independent, and I'll run in the major election in November as an independent. And of course, then you'll have the Republican side, which is the current mayor, as a matter of fact. Adams, I believe his name is. This is going to be interesting. It really is, especially with this guy. He's brought a shot in the arm to the Democratic Party. However, what kind of shot is the question? They consider him, or actually call him, a democratic socialist, much like Bernie Sanders, I guess you'd say, in that same vein, or even AOC, I suppose you could say, can lead in that direction. But this guy is the real deal. This guy is a democratic socialist, and they like what he has to say, mainly because he's posting that what he would do is basically obliterate the New York Police Department, completely get rid of it altogether, and send in social workers instead to take care of things rather than trained professional. Notice I almost said army there. Well, that's a Freudian slip if I've ever heard one. But to send social workers in the place of police. He's also talking about making everything free, free bus rides, free childcare, free healthcare, free this, free that, free, 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 free. Well, somebody's got to pay for it. Somewhere, the money's going to come from someplace. You can't get that stuff for free. It's got to be paid for. It's the way the world works. And I don't know. I think what my opinion is, let's be very cautious about this guy. I mean, yeah, he's young, he's exciting, vibrant, blah, 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 and a good shot in the arm for the Democratic Party right now. However, from my experience and my opinion, growing up and such in this country all these years, I'd be very leery because this is basically communism he's talking about, or socialism he's talking about bringing to New York City. It hasn't worked in other countries. Why would it work in New York City? Why would it be any different here than it would be anywhere else? That is a good question. I don't know. I'd be very careful about who I elect and look at it real hard and look at his background, look at it. He's not even born in this country. He was born in Uganda, which means nothing as far as the mayor of New York City. But people are talking, the Democratic Party is so excited right now. They're talking about, nah, forget the New York City. We're going to make him run in 28 for the president of the United States. Well, he can't legally because he was born in Uganda. He was not born in this country, therefore cannot do it. However, I've heard rumbles. People want to change that law so that he can run and so that he can serve. I don't know. I just don't know if I like the direction that this is all going. It's kind of going in the direction that we have been against for years, and the system we've had for 250 years is not perfect. In fact, it's a mess as it could possibly be, but it's been our mess, and it's been our way of life for almost 250 years. Why are we changing horses in midstream? I don't know. I would be very careful if I were you. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of News and Commentary. Be safe out there, kind to each other, the whole 9 yards. And remember that where are you? There you are, right there. You are always number one in my book. That's right. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.